Hey guys, what's up? It's DJ here, back with a video. Today I'm going to be recapping my predictions for the Rlcs Spring Major that just took place. It was an incredible event, great atmosphere. The EU LAN crowd was just electric. So just thought I would do a recap video since I made predictions for this event. So first I just want to say, G2 and BDS, almost nobody could have predicted them going out so early like they did. I got all the first round matchups right, except for Team BDS actually got swept by Team Secret. So I'm going to go through and change everything one by one as it happened. So G2 3-0'd Gladiators. Did not see that coming. Carmine Corp 3-0'd Furia. Hey, it's me, DJ. Quick announcement. Over 99% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So if you're one of those people, I need you to go down below the video right now and click the subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds and it's free, and it helps me out a ton. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the video. Carmine Corp also 3-2 G2. It was actually a reverse sweep, which was pretty crazy to see because G2 looked like they were clicking on all cylinders, and then it just slowly started shifting away, and in the last few games of that series, they just could not win a kickoff, and that's what happens at the highest level. If you can't make one play, it's going to come back to bite you. So lots of sweeps. V1 swept Endpoint. Yes, Moist swept MV. Team Secret swept BDS. SSG was down 2-0 to Pioneers. Reverse sweep. So SSG with the reverse sweep in round 1 to survive. FaZe Clan swept Power. Team Falcons beat Liquid 3-1. It wasn't 3-2. It was close. I mean, I did pretty well in this first round, other than the BDS Team Secret, which almost nobody predicted that. So I'm happy with how that went. So in the lower bracket, we have Furia swept Gladiators 3-0. So Gladiators went out of the tournament without winning a game. Endpoint was swept by Envy, or now Optic, as they got picked up after my video came out. BDS got swept by Pioneers, which means the favorite for the whole event didn't win a match. It was unbelievable to watch because everybody thought BDS dropped. They're going to wake up. They're going to come alive. But they didn't. Pioneers came in confident. They weren't scared of BDS, and they played like it. They absolutely took them to the cleaners. Team Liquid swept Team Power. I actually said in my video, Power is not going to win a game. And they didn't. So I was pretty happy with that. So now moving up here, I already changed this, but Carmine beat G2 in Game 5, reverse sweep, which was pretty surprising. This was surprising to me, but not the most surprising thing I saw happen. Version 1 took Moist out in 4 games. Moist didn't look like themselves early on. They swept Envy/Optic, now Optic, formerly Envy. They swept them, but I wasn't super impressed by how they played. So that was interesting to me. Another thing, SSG beat Team Secret 3-1. Not too surprising. It seemed like BDS wasn't on form. It didn't seem like Secret was doing anything super impressive. I just don't think BDS came prepared into this LAN. FaZe lost to Falcons 3-1. Like I said in my video, I wouldn't be surprised if Falcons was good enough to make a run. I thought they're a really good team. I just didn't know how much experience they would have, rallying together as a team. I'll get into that a little bit more later on. But honestly, impressed with Falcons for the first 2 days of this tournament. Really came out swinging. They weren't scared of anybody. So down here in lowers round 2, FaZe went out to Furia, which was surprising to me. Furia did well in LA. I thought they would kind of falter a little bit here in London. They didn't. They played under their standards in the first round. They came out in the lower bracket and they were swinging at everybody. Envy swept Team Secret out of the tournament, and right here, Moist swept Pioneers. Not too surprising. All these results are just pointing to me that BDS just was not prepared for this major, which is very weird to say because Moist sweeping Pioneers out after BDS got swept by Pioneers. Space Station beating Team Secret 3-1 after BDS got swept by Team Secret. It's just things like that you don't really expect. So we can move on. G2 goes out here. Again, a reverse sweep. They were up 2-0 on Liquid, and in both series, they lose by a goal in Game 5. And it's just, I didn't get to watch this match against Liquid because I wasn't home, but it's crazy to say that G2 went out in lowers round 2 and BDS was out before them. These were the two favorites for the whole event. But yeah, so that was pretty crazy to see. And then here in lowers round 3, Furia beat Envy or Optic, whatever you want to call them, 3-1. Took them out in 4 games. Both of these teams, I'd say, are similar skill level. It's just who's playing better on the day. And I think Furia probably is a little bit better on an average day, and I think that's kind of what happened here. Liquid went out to Moist right here, 3-2 game 5. Pretty impressive, honestly. Liquid was actually up 2-1 in the series, and Moist came back roaring in game 4 and 5 and took it. So right here, going up to the top again, we have Carmine Corp and V1, where Carmine Corp do lose to V1 4-3. Version 1 did win 4-3 to knock Carmine Corp down to the lower bracket. Space Station Falcons. Space Station loses in game 7. So 2 game 7s in the upper semifinals, which is cool to see because it shows you how close these top teams were performing. Then here in the lower quarterfinals, Carmine Corp beat Furia in 7 games. Carmine Corp were really on form the first 2 days of this tournament. Honestly impressed. I was really impressed with them out of the gates, the way they handled Furia, especially with how Furia responded too. I mean, making this lower bracket run all the way here to clinch top 6, it's impressive, and you can't say enough about it. Because look at what happened to G2 and BDS. They fell down, they lost, they were out. It's crazy to see, just looking back now, like Power, BDS, Endpoint, and Gladiators, none of those teams won a game. I don't think I've ever seen that many teams not win a single game at a LAN. But there's a lot of parity in Rocket League right now. You're going to have upsets, you're going to have sweeps. It's going to happen. Just depends on who's on form, you know, what kind of mindset people are in. So yeah, Space Station and Moist, down here in the lower bracket. Moist continues their revenge tour after being knocked down in the second round. They beat Space Station in 7 games, and it's impressive because Moist were on a roll. Same thing here. Carmine Corp, they were on form, but Moist was just showing up. Moist was playing really well the rest of this event outside of this one loss to Version 1. Pretty impressive stuff. Up here in the upper finals, Version 1 lost in Game 7 to Team Falcons. I said I wasn't going to be surprised if Falcons made a run. I thought FaZe were going to be better on the day because of the experience they had on their side. But I do think Falcons is the better team. I just thought at a LAN environment, I thought that FaZe would perform better. I was wrong, and I'm okay with that. Down here in the lower finals, Version 1, they lost their momentum and they got taken out. They got 4-0'd by Moist. And again, it just comes down to Moist was on form on the day. Same thing happened here. Falcons went to Game 7 in the first series, didn't win a game in the second. Moist Esports was crowned major champions. So yeah, this is what the final bracket looks like. The seating right here, who won money, what they won. A couple interesting things to note as we go into the World Championships in middle of August. BDS and G2 were not on form. That's interesting. It'll leave a bad taste in their mouths. I don't think there's going to be a roster move from either team. I think G2's was a bit of ball bounce the other way. I think BDS has some underlying issues there. Mark by 8 might come off the bench. I don't consider that a roster move, but I mean, changing the lineup. I don't think anyone's going to be kicked off these teams that didn't perform. It is interesting to see Falcons at a LAN for the first time with their full team of starters. They got second. They did really well. But Moist was on form, and Moist has been there, done that. They did it in the last major. They made the lower bracket run. They fell to G2, but when G2's on form, there's no team better in the world. And I honestly believe that. I am a little bit biased because I am a G2 fan. I honestly believe that G2 is the best in the world when they're on form. They weren't on form this week, but credit to the teams that beat them. I mean, Carmine Corp rallied from down 2 games to 0. Liquid rallied from down 2 games to 0. I can't say enough about what Moist did. I absolutely respect it. They're not my favorite team. I'm not really a fan of Moist. But to lose in dominant fashion to Version 1 and to go all the way through the lower bracket, come back to sweep them in the lower final. That's true heart right there. It's pretty inspiring to see that, because I don't think anyone expected Moist to sweep them. I just want to say a couple people I was impressed with throughout the tournament. O'Khaled played solid for Falcons. Ahmad played unbelievably well for Falcons. I mean, he was scoring goals that you don't expect to see so often at the highest level of the game. Shout out to Ahmad and O'Khaled and TRK. They had an unbelievable tournament, but you just can't say enough about how well Moist played. A couple things, housekeeping. Endpoint looked like they didn't belong on the same field as these teams for the most part. I mean, they got swept out. Gladiators, it's going to be tough from a newer region, so they weren't expected to compete, but I thought they would at least take a game or two. I was surprised that Envy went as far as they did. I thought Envy was going to finish between 13th and 16th. They made it all the way to 7th. So credit to Envy. SSG, I believe I had them going out in round 3 of lowers, and they made it to the lower quarterfinals, so they played a little bit better than I thought. Team Secret, sweeping BDS. Again, I talked about it. I don't think BDS was on form, but it's still impressive nonetheless to sweep the Giants, to not be scared in that moment and to get nervous. They held on, they won it. FaZe was a little bit disappointing, but there were a lot of disappointments because that's what happens when there's upsets. That's what happens. These perceived lower-tiered teams come out and play better on the day. And that's what it comes down to. Who's playing better on the day? This was a great lead-up to Worlds, because now we've got a little bit over a month to wait for Worlds. Ahmad was crowned offensive MVP. Like I said, Ahmad was popping off, scoring some unbelievable goals. So credit to Ahmad. Vatira, defensive MVP, solid. Everyone on Moist had an outstanding tournament. MVP of the major is Joyo, captain of Moist, or at least I think he's the captain. I'm not 100% sure on that. So that's that. Honestly, super exciting event. I will be at Worlds in August. I can't wait. It's going to be great. My first Rocket League LAN experience. Yeah, so early favorites for Worlds, in my opinion. It's going to be Falcons. It's going to be G2. Moist is obviously going to be up there. Version 1, Carmine Corp, Furia, a couple sleeper teams to watch. BDS could show up again, but they just have not played well in a LAN setting. And until we see that, I'm not going to predict anything changes, because it seems to be something mentally that BDS has to fix. And I think mental things are way harder to fix than actual physical things you can change in your gameplay. It's going to take a lot of work. I think they need to bond more personally or something to get a better chemistry going, because chemistry shows up way more on LAN than it does in online play. They're a very good team in online, as you've seen. They dominated this spring split for Europe, and they fell flat on their face, getting 6 straight losses to fall out of the major. It's pretty disappointing for all BDS fans out there, but that happens. I mean, you gotta play well on the day. So yeah, final thoughts. Congrats to Moist, the new org. They come in. They're picked up by Moist after being dropped by Team Queso. They win the major. Good for them. Can't wait for Worlds. Hope to see you guys there. Peace out.